Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your
Honor.
Morning, Your Honor.
Jeffrey, we're ready to go on the record?
We are on the record, Your Honor.
Okay, great. Good morning. Today is October 9th, 2025. It's approximately 10 a.m. My name is Christine Burke. I'm a public utility law judge with the Maryland Public Service Commission. We're here for an evidentiary hearing today in case number 9767, which is captioned Halo Warwick LLC's application for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to construct a 5 megawatt solar photovoltaic generating facility in Kent County, Maryland. Can I have the appearances of counsel, please, beginning with the applicant?
Yes, Your Honor, good morning. My name is Colleen Collins. I'm an attorney from Gordon Feinblatt representing the applicant in this case. I also would like to enter the appearance of my colleague, Mr. David Bugelsmans. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. For the Department of Natural Resources Power Plant Research Program.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Attorney General Steve Tolson, representing PPRP.
Good morning.
And I should add that, if I may add, I also have Robin Lee, who is the PPRP project manager, online with us, and I can do an attestation either now or later, depending on if you have questions.
Okay. Yes, and I will, and we will get to that. Thank you.
Okay.
And for staff counsel?
Good morning, Your Honor. Jennifer Purvis, appearing on behalf of staff and in place of the lead counsel, in this case, Annette Garofalo, who is out today. And we also have witness Wasanu Waldecuris appearing today.
Great. Thank you. Good morning. My understanding is based on the applicant's filing, that the applicant is not contesting the license conditions that were proposed by PPRP and staff, and that the parties are stipulating to exhibits. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Correct. Yes.
And Your Honor, apologies. I did not mention that I am joined by the applicant, a representative of the applicant from Halo Solar, Mr. Michael Lacia, and the consultant for the project, Mr. Sean Miller from Kimley Horn. Sorry.
Thank you. I did see them as well here, and I will have questions as well for them after we get through exhibits. So I'd like to run through, I did receive everybody's exhibit list, so thank you in advance. If we could start with the applicant and identifying your exhibits, and then once we get everybody's exhibits entered into the record, we can have witnesses testify. I just have some questions. So Ms. Collins, if you want to just start with the applicant's exhibits.
Your Honor, and I would like to mention that we have entered already applicant's exhibit 1, the certificate of publication for the pre-hearing conference.
Correct.
Yes. I will just run through all the exhibits if that works for Your Honor. Okay, yep. Excellent. To be marked and entered into the record are exhibits, or applicant's exhibit 1, or applicant's exhibit 2, applicant's environmental review document dated December 10th, 2024, consisting of 39 pages under mail log number 314138. Applicant's exhibit 3, which is the appendices to the environmental review document dated December 10th, 2024, consisting of 295 pages under mail log number 314138. Applicant's exhibit 4, applicant's revised ERD and data response to PPRP dated January 21st, 2025, consisting of 431 pages under mail log number 315039. Applicant's exhibit 5, applicant's response to notice of recommendation of completeness dated January 27th, 2025, consisting of 2 pages under mail log number 315147. Applicant's exhibit 6, the applicant's additional response to notice of recommendation of completeness dated February 5th, 2025, consisting of 2 pages under mail log number 315471. Applicant's exhibit 7, applicant's response to PPRP's first set of data requests dated March 10th, 2025, consisting of 222 pages under mail log number 316590. Applicant's exhibit 8, the direct testimony of Mr. Michael Lacia, dated April 28th, 2025, consisting of 20 pages under mail log number 318325. Applicant's exhibit 9, the direct testimony of Mr. Sean Miller, dated April 28th, 2025, consisting of 5 pages under mail log number 318325. Applicant's Exhibit 10, the certificate of publication for the initial public comment hearing, dated March 2nd, 2025, consisting of 9 pages under mail log number 318545. Applicant's Exhibit 11, the errata direct testimony of Mr. Michael Lacia, dated March 21st, 2025, consisting of 40 pages under mail log number 319051. Applicant's Exhibit 12, the applicant's final decommissioning and site plan letter, dated July 18th, 2025, consisting of 1 page under mail log number 320533. Applicant's Exhibit 13, applicant's updated concept plan, dated July 18th, 2025, consisting of 3 pages under mail log number 320543. Applicant's Exhibit 14, applicant's second updated concept plan, dated July 31st, 2025, consisting of 2 pages under mail log number 320909. Applicant's Exhibit 15, applicant's settlement status update, dated August 18th, 2025, consisting of 1 page under mail log number 321597. Applicant's Exhibit 16, certificate of publication for the second public comment hearing, dated September 2nd, 2025, consisting of 9 pages under mail log number 322004. And finally, applicant's Exhibit 17, the sign affidavit, dated September 5th, 2025, consisting
does anyone else not hear Ms. Collins? I think she
cut out abruptly.
Yes.
okay. We'll
me
just-
now. Can you?
Yes.
Am I
yes.
back?
Yes, you are.
I apologize, Your Honor.
That's okay. I think we left off. You finished your exhibits through number 17, and
Thank
you'd like
you, Your
those
Honor.
entered into the record.
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
They'll be entered into the record, exhibits 2 through 17. I just wanted to clarify for the record that exhibit 12 was a letter, not the actual decommissioning plan, and it indicated final site plan. I believe it's an updated, that there were no updates to the site plan. So that was just the letter
Correct, Your Honor.
certifying that. Okay, so that was exhibit 12. Okay, applicants' exhibits 2 through 17 are entered into the record. And Mr. Tolson, if you would like to start with PPRP's exhibits.
Thank you, Your Honor. PPRP has 6 exhibits. All 6 were filed on August 15th, 2025. All 6 were filed under mail log number 321525. PPRP Exhibit 1 for identification is the direct testimony of Robin Lee. PPRP Exhibit 2 is a secretarial letter signed by the Secretaries of the Department of Natural Resources and the Maryland Department of the Environment. PPRP Exhibit 3 for identification is PPRP's initial recommended license conditions. PPRP Exhibit 4 for identification is the project assessment report. PPRP Exhibit 5 for identification is Appendix A to the project assessment report, which consists of selected responses to PPRP and staff data requests. And finally, PPRP Exhibit 6 for identification is Appendix B, it said B in the list I sent you, of the reference sections of PPRP's website. And with that, I would move for admission of PPRP Exhibits 1 through 6 into the record.
Okay, my understanding, there's no objection. So PPRP's exhibits 1 through 6 will be entered into the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Ms. Purvis for staff.
For staff, Your Honor, we ask that the direct testimony and exhibits of Wasanu Waldekiros, pre-filed on August 15th, 2025, as mail log number 321575, consisting of 12 pages of narrative testimony and 3 exhibits, be marked as staff exhibit 1. staff, as you may have seen yesterday, had corrections to his testimony. Would you prefer that we mark those and enter them now, or should I ask staff's witness about them and then enter them later?
Is there any objection to the entrance of staff's errata testimony?
No objection, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we can enter it. I do have some questions about it, but we can take that testimony after we enter the exhibit.
Thank you. So I guess moving forward, we'll, if we could mark as staff exhibit number 2, the redlined corrected direct testimony and exhibits of Wasanu Wildekiros, which consists of 12 pages of narrative testimony and 3 exhibits, filed on October 8th, 2025 as mail log number 323065, and mark as staff exhibit 3, corrected testimony, the clean version of the corrected testimony and exhibits of Wasanu Wildekiros, which again consists of 12 pages of narrative testimony and 3 exhibits, filed on October 8th, 2025 as mail log number 323065. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. And staff's exhibits 1 through 3 will be entered into the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Collins, I have some questions for the applicant's witnesses. Mr. Lacia?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Okay, and Ms. Collins, could you do the attestation, please?
Yes, Your Honor. I hereby attest that the witness is alone in a separate room and not in any communication with any other individual. And with that, Your Honor, Mr. Lacia is available for questions.
Thank you. With respect to the updates to the most recent site plan, which is now the July 31st site plan, were the changes that were made as a result of the consultation with Kent County from the beginning site plan?
No. Basically, the changes were, they were not made after consultation with Kent County.
Okay, can you describe why the changes were made?
So I'd have to look at the difference between the 2 site plans, but one of the original changes was to make sure that there was access to the back end of the property. That was an earlier change so that the landowner can potentially use that area for another development. We wanted to make sure, I think, that we weren't exceeding a certain amount of acreage within the AZD zoning, given the 5-acre limitations within a fence line under Kent County zoning. And then a lot of times we're moving around panels or area to either increase the size of the project to make it more optimal, or we potentially have availability and procurement of certain equipment that we intended to use, or we intend to use now, that we originally were not intending to use when the project was in its earlier stages. But with regards to exactly what was changed, I'd have to see and look at the site plan specifically to understand what that change was for.
I had a question about the amount of utility poles. I believe that may have changed from the ERD. I think originally it was 6, and is that now 5?
It could be. That would be a question more for the electrical engineer.
Okay, Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Miller.
Okay, I'll get to Mr. Miller. Thank you. With respect to Kent County has recently updated their land use and zoning code. I believe it became effective in July. Their zoning has changed as far as this project was initially, I believe, agricultural and industrially zoned. Do you know what the category is now for industrial? What was previously industrially zoned?
I think that this site is categorized as industrial employment center and AZD, or agricultural zoning. So the property is actually split into 2 sides. The eastern portion is AZD. The western portion is industrial/employment center. The Kent County Solar Code, I believe in the recent changes as well, allows as a permitted use solar to be on the industrially zoned properties. So for purposes of zoning, like if this were not going through a CPCN, it would be permitted by use on the western side, and then on the eastern side, we just have to make sure under the code that we would be using less than 5 acres within the fence line, which I believe is the new change of the original zoning code. I believe was not the 5 acres wasn't within the fence line, but the limits of disturbance. And I think that was changed. So as far as the zoning of the property, I believe that from an acreage standpoint and where the facility is located on the western and eastern portions, it is within compliance of the new regulations under the Kent County zoning code.
After, I believe it was attached to the updated ERD, the initial feedback that you received from Kent County with regard to the project and consistency with the comprehensive plan, were there, have they reviewed the most updated concept plan?
Kent County had, yes, we've gone through a TAC meeting and I believe a planning commission meeting. So they've reviewed, well, they've at least reviewed the erosion sediment control plans, the stormwater management plans. I don't know if they reviewed the major site plan yet, but they were given the 90-day pre-application period with the original concept plan to review. And as far as I recall, there were no comments made by Kent County that opposed the layout or the project itself. And since then, I haven't seen anything along those lines as well.
The new ordinance, I believe, changed buffer requirements and reduced them from to 35 feet, no more than 35 feet. Is it your intention to keep the buffers at 60 feet?
Yes, our intention is to remain with the current concept plan that we have in place. And again, we're going through Kent County currently for our grading permit approvals. So that major site plan has also been compiled based on what our most recent, I believe, concept plan is indicating.
Okay. And with respect to Kent County's process for review of the decommissioning plan and cost estimate, that's completed after final site plan approval?
I believe so. I think Mr. Miller would probably be better equipped to answer that question, but I believe that is their process, or potentially have a recommendation from either the PPRP or as part of the CPCN process to rely on the decommissioning plan and estimate from this process. But I'm not quite sure exactly where Kent County or the process for which Kent County does approve the decommissioning plan and how they'd like to have it reviewed.
We can follow up with Mr. Miller. Are you familiar with the status of the DPL study, interconnection study?
Yes, the study to interconnect the project.
Yes. And I believe that there was an expectation it would be completed by somewhere between May and December. Is there any further information about the status of that?
The substation initially, as indicated in our technical review, is not going to need to be upgraded. I believe it's the Massey substation. After the engineering review and based on our cost estimate letter, it is now being indicated that DPL themselves are potentially going to upgrade and pay for the majority of what's called a 3VO upgrade to the substation. Depending on the time to complete the upgrade of the substation, it could push out the project being placed in service by as long as 6 months. We intend to begin construction within 3 or 4 months from receiving the grading permit approvals and the electrical and building permits from Kent County. So that would ideally be sometime Q1 or Q2 of 2026. We did pay our interconnection deposit with the utility. So the work has begun with the utility to start the design for the distribution lines and the substation, or at least selecting the company that will be doing that, either whether it's in-house or third party contractor. That should be in place by the end of 2025, and that takes approximately 6 to 9 months to complete. And then depending on how long it's going to take to do the physical upgrades, I would assume that the project probably is looking at early 2027 to be placed in service.
The letter from Kent County requested a donation to the Agricultural Preservation Fund based on, I think, the zoning of the project site. Is it the applicant's intention to follow up with Kent County with that donation?
We'll work with Kent County to discuss any possible donations. Again, I mean, we have a couple of projects in Kent County, so we would probably have a conversation about all of our projects together rather than doing it one by one. But we will follow up with Kent County on the request.
Okay, I think my other questions would be for witness Miller. So thank you, Mr. Lacia.
Yep.
Mr. Miller, could you
Morning,
please
Your
raise your, good morning, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
You're familiar with the glare analyses that were completed, correct?
That is
Your
correct.
Honor, would you like me to do the attestation
Oh,
for?
yes, sorry. Thank you.
Absolutely. I hereby attest that the witness is alone in a separate room and not in communication with any other individuals. And with that, Your Honor, Mr. Miller is available for questioning. Thank you.
Thank you. There were 2 glare analyses completed, correct?
I believe that is correct. Yes.
Okay. So with respect to the, there was the initial one that was submitted with the updated ERD was conducted, I believe, April of 2025, where there was an indication of green glare on 2 points. Then there was the January 25th updated glare analysis, which predicted no glare. Can you explain why, how that change came about?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, just for clarification, the revised glare analysis was completed in April of 2025.
Oh, correct. I had it backwards. Yes.
Great. I just wanted to
The
confirm.
first one was January, correct? Sorry. And then the updated one was April, I believe.
So yes, there was for the original glare analysis, there was green glare shown for the receptor for private driveway 2 at 7.5 hours per year. And for the updated glare analysis, there was it was found that there was no glare for that private driveway 2. In terms of the reasoning for the decrease in that is due to, I believe, a revision to the landscape buffer analysis, or sorry, landscape buffer location for the project to provide a larger level of screening from the project.
Okay. And there was another point in the initial January analysis that indicated glare to, I think it's focal point 6, 26 hours of green glare, which is the Massey Aerodrome. That glare resolved as well in the updated analysis?
Yes, you are correct. That glare receptor went down to 0 hours of green glare as well. I am reviewing to confirm the reasoning for that difference for between the two, but I would need a couple of minutes to confirm.
Okay. If it would take you longer than that and you'd like to respond in a data request, that's fine. Or do you just need a few minutes? It's up.
I do believe that responding in a data request would allow us to provide the most accurate information.
Okay. So that'll be bench data request 1 to the applicant. That would just be the reason that what changed to make the green glare that was predicted in the January 2025 analysis no longer predicted in the April 2025 analysis. I'm gonna go back to the questions that I had for Mr. Lassia. I believe he indicated with respect to decommissioning review for Kent County. Do you know whether that's done after final site plan approval?
Yes, it is typical that the decommissioning plan review conducted by Kent County would be done after final site plan approval and prior to the issuance of building permits.
And I believe I asked about the change in the construction of the utility poles in the concept site plan. Can you speak to that?
Yes, and in clarification, I am not an electrical engineer. I'm a licensed civil engineer, but Kimley Horn, the company I represent, is providing electrical engineering services for this project. To my understanding, looking back at the concept site plans that have been submitted with this project, with the original ERD through to the most up-to-date one that was, I believe, in July, there have been 6 utility poles proposed on the project subject property since the original submission of the concept site plan.
Okay, I don't have any other questions for witness Miller.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Witness Lee for PPRP.
And Your Honor, I will attest that Robin Lee is alone in a separate room and not in communication with any other individual.
Thank you, Mr. Tolson. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Okay. Were there crops being grown on the project site or in the agricultural zone?
During the site visit, as I recall, there were not. And that would have been conducted in March.
With regard to the visual impacts, on page 20 of your direct testimony, you state that the project will not have any significant visual impacts. There is the Blue Star Solar facility in close proximity. Are both projects visible from any vantage point?
Having visited the site, Your Honor, the Blue Star Solar facility is visible from Galena Road. Portions of Galena Road, at least.
Okay. Did PPRP consider that the proximity of the Blue Star facility in assessing visual impacts?
Not in relation to visual impacts, Your Honor. We did consider that it was present in terms of co-location considerations.
On page 11 of your direct, and I believe there was also an attached exhibit regarding the stories of the Chesapeake Heritage Area and follow-up. Do you know whether they completed a site visit?
I do not.
Okay, was there any follow-up done with your
PPRP,
recommendation? Go ahead.
sorry, PPRP did initially communicate with the Heritage Area. The Heritage Area did acknowledge receipt of the notification. However, there was not follow-up communication.
Can PPRP confirm with them that there are no concerns?
PPRP can reach out again.
Okay, thank you. That'll be BDR too. On the license conditions on page 6, it's condition number 20, A, B, and C. With respect to condition number 20, subpart A, there's a requirement for a water quality certification from MDE. And it states in that condition, if applicable. How or who determines whether the applicant needs to get the water quality certification?
Your Honor, I believe that would be MDE, but I am not certain and would be willing to follow up with the data request.
Okay. That'll be part of bench data request number 2. And in that, whether it's MDE or not, and what condition, why would it, if it's saying and if applicable, under what circumstances would it be applicable?
I believe I would have to include that as part of a data request response.
Yes. With respect to subpart B of that condition, it requires that the proper project owner has operational responsibility to inspect the culverts annually for structural damage. But it does not say the project owner. That's my question. Who is to do that annual inspection?
That should be the project owner.
Okay. And with regard to subpart C, the condition states, if feasible, the project owner shall provide a minimum 10-foot vegetated setback. Who determines if it is feasible or not?
I believe that initial determination would be made based on technical requirements of the project. However, that is something I would have to look at and respond to in a bench DR.
Okay. I would just see clarification on what if feasible means, because that seems to, it just leaves it open as to whether or not the applicant has to follow that condition and who enforces that condition. So the language is not clear.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay. And with respect to condition number 27 for glare on page 8, subpart B indicates that the owner shall file the results of the glare analysis no less than 90 days prior to the start of any construction. And I believe final site plan approval has to be completed 60 days prior to construction. And I just want to clear up whether that means the final site plan approval would actually have to be done much further than the 60 days. They don't seem to correspond. So I'm just trying to figure out whether whether it would be more of 120 days prior to construction that the final site plan, if it was changing and a new analysis is necessary for that time frame. How does PPRP envision that happening?
PPRP's understanding would be that once the final site plan is determined, if that site plan differs from what had already been proposed, then if changes in panel type or arrangement are such that it would affect the glare analysis, that glare analysis would need to take into account the final site plan.
Right. I'm just the timeframes. I guess the applicant would have to, if the applicant anticipates those changes, which generally we're at right now, the conceptual site plan is likely to change. Whether those changes would impact effects to glare, the applicant would have to account for that and allow enough time in advance for PPRP to review the updated glare analysis.
Yes, Your Honor.
With respect to condition number 29B, which is emergency preparedness, when does PPRP believe the initial training should occur? Would that be prior to construction or prior to operation?
I don't know that PPRP has a position on the timing for the instruction. So I would think before operation. However, that is something we should probably also respond to in a data request.
I think that covers my questions. So just for clarity on the bench data request to PPRP, there'll be follow-up on condition number 20, A, B, and C. And condition number 29B on emergency preparedness. Oh, and I missed one. Sorry. That would have been condition 20 with respect to, 20, A, B, and C. I did say that. So those two conditions.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
For staff?
Yes, Your Honor. We have witness Wasanu Wildekiros. Would you like me to give the attestation for him?
Please.
I hereby attest that the witness is alone in a separate room and not in communication with any other individuals. And with that, the witness is available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Thank you. There was a errata testimony filed yesterday. Can you just explain to me the addition of the licensing condition and the reason for the errata that was filed?
Yeah, Your Honor. Do you want me to go through everything?
Well, yes, the changes that were made.
Okay.
believe it starts on page 8. Oh, no, it was the beginning.
It starts at
Page 3.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Staff filed an errata to correct and clarify the record in 4 places. I will refer to the red-lined version of my corrected direct testimony. First, in the recommendation section on page 3, a new recommendation number 2 has been inserted on lines 1 through 3. It reads, require Hello Warwick to provide the Commission with a countersigned copy of its interconnection agreement with Delmarva Power and Light DPL prior to construction of its CSEGS. As a result of this insertion, the subsequent recommendations have been renumbered. Second, in the main testimony section on page 8, the paragraph beginning on line 6 has been corrected to accurately reflect the project's interconnection status. The corrected text on line 6 through 10 now reads, according to the applicant's response to staff data request number 34, DPL has conditionally approved the project, and the project is currently in the engineering study phase. A signed interconnection agreement will establish the legal and technical framework necessary for interconnecting the facility to DPL's electric distribution system. Third, regarding the decommissioning plan on page 10, line 6, I have added the phrase or the state to clarify that the financial surety can be posted with either Kent County or the state. Fourth, in the conclusions and recommendations section on page 11 of my testimony, 2 conforming changes were made. At the top of the page, the sentence beginning on line 2 was revised to read, finally, a signed interconnection agreement between Hello Warwick and DPL will provide the Commission with the assurance. And at the bottom of the page, to conform with the first correction I mentioned, the final recommendation were updated. A new recommendation number 2 was inserted on lines 17 through 19, and the subsequent recommendation were renumbered to 3, 4, and 5. Those are all the corrections.
You said that these changes were made as a result of the update to the interconnection status. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. I do not have any other questions today. With respect to the bench data requests, I'd ask that those be responded to by October 24th. For the applicant, do you need me to go back over what?
No, Your Honor. We understand that the bench data request is requesting what is the change that happened between the first glare analysis and the second glare analysis to remove green glare so that it was no longer predicted in the April 2025 analysis. And we'll explain both in the data request just to be completely clear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Mr. Tolson and Ms. Lee, are you clear on?
Yes, I wrote down the RLC things, and I understand we're going to address the heritage area concerns, MD's water quality certification, and about the feasibility, who determines whether the 10-foot buffer is feasible, and then finally the under 29B, the emergency preparation. When will the training be done?
Yes, great. Okay, are there any other issues that we need to address today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, great, thank you. So October 24th for the data requests. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Your Honor.
you,
We
Your
can
Honor.
conclude the hearing. Thank you. Have a great day.
Good day.
Thank you.